fantastic. Looks like he's on the camera work as well. So Sean Mayer there, like you said, the HB Tirana taking on Joe Zammit and the VL Commodore. Remembering this is qualifying session number 1, so they're just trying to find the track conditions there in the car as the day goes by, because we will go into elimination racing as we head on to tomorrow, which will change things up there where they'll get to set a dial in time, which is basically the time they're not allowed to beat. But they nominate that as a racer. And of course, then they get the chance. It gives them a bit of a, like if you're a slower car, it basically gives you a slight handicap there. If you dial in a slower time for the person next to you, you get a slight little handicap there. So the idea is if you have the perfect reaction time and the perfect run to what you say you're going to do, is you're going to cross the finish line at the same time.
Exactly. Described perfectly there, Matthew. Dial your own racing. Sounds simple enough, but in essence it's quite tricky. And
then we move over to something completely different here. Tomorrow, of course, we've got an all-run format for all of our bigger categories. Of course, Pro Stock, Top Bike, the Burson's Auto, Top Fuel, and the Pro Mod will all go on a Pro Tree, which basically means they get a flash of the ambers, they go green. It does not matter. There is no handicap. It is side by side, first to the finish line.
Exactly, and it's, you know,
it means you got to have a great reaction time, and you got to go fast. So it's fantastic to be here at the first ever Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championships. It's Friday, it's qualifying day. Great to see, though, we do have our live stream up here on the Sydney Dragway YouTube as well. So welcome to everybody out there watching. Don't forget, plenty of car parking. We went up there before, and me and Rusty were doing some technological errors, but we got up there and we're showing you around the car park. Plenty of brand new car parking. So we can fit thousands of cars on bitumen now. You don't have to walk through the mud or anything like that. Brand new ticket boost up the top there. It'll be operating to get you in the gates here as well. So that's going to be streamlined a fair bit. You can come down to the venue, enjoy what is going to be a fantastic array of entertainment here today and tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow we've got the FMX bikes are going to be here as well. We've got some drift cars. I believe we're going to finish things off with the fireworks, showing some Burnout cars as well.
Yeah, I saw that in the schedule. It's a nice way to cap the event off tomorrow evening with some fireworks. But as you say, Matthew, yes, we've got some motorcycle stunt action happening on the eastern side of the mound, and we're also going to have some drift action going on in the Burnout pad.
Oh, look, mate, we just love bringing the entertainment to everyone here at Sydney Dragway. We love putting on a show. Of course, the Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship getting kicked off here in 2022. And we're going to come back in a few weeks and do it all again, of course, because we got the Nationals here as well in a few weeks.
That's exactly right. And, of course, that will be a fantastic event for Sydney Dragway and all the competitors involved. That will be a national championship event.
Yeah, National Championship event, of course, the entries are open if you want to get involved, you want to come down and race. Also, I do believe tomorrow we do start selling tickets after lunch tomorrow, so they'll be available online. So the 11th and 12th of February, that's going to be an absolutely huge one as well back here at Sydney Dragway in 3 weeks. Top Fuel are going to be there as well as we keep going with the Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship. Of course, we are already having a look at what is coming up here this afternoon, around about 6:30 this afternoon, our qualifying. We're going to kick things off here in the Burson's Top Fuel with Peter Shibris, who just reset the national record just 7 months ago, taking on Phil Lamartina, who's got a couple of championships to his name. Pete Shibris alongside just got his first Top Fuel championship, and like we say, with an impressive time, and it was so consistent last time he was out. He ran like a 376, a 374, a 376. So they were all national record. They were basically the fastest we've ever seen in Australia. So he's got the two crew chiefs, of course. We'll have to wait and see whether the brains trust there have kept things going. I mean, Shibris been a busy boy too, because he's just gone and bought himself a supercar team as well, the Premier Racing. So lots going on, and mate, they've got an amazing team there, and we'll want to see what they can do. Phil Lamartina, they got a fair bit of experience in Top Fuel, and now with Shane Olive coming on board, the second car, the data they'll be able to get out of this weekend, I think, will really assist them in another fight for a championship.
Oh, very much so. And of course, having that extra data is gold or money in the bank, as you might say, in terms of helping both cars out. And of course, there is always that little bit of rivalry between the drivers. But we might, while we're in this downtime, Matthew, we might throw to some ads.
Let's hear from our fantastic sponsors here at Sydney Dragway and the Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship.
Hey, fellas, do you hear that? That's
passion and determination. It's time for us to listen to our fans. We'll never turn our backs on them because that is who we are. We are the West. We are open to everyone. We are loyal. We are listening. We are passionate. We are family. We are.
Grab your Burson Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship limited edition sublimated t-shirts from the merchandise outlets now.
Introducing the brand new aeroflowperformance.com. Featuring a new powerful search function to provide more relevant and accurate results. The new and improved menu increases speed and ease of navigation. Once you've found the right products, you will also find important information and specifications for your selection. Then, simply add to cart and proceed to checkout. Your Aeroflow Performance products are only a few secure clicks away. Try the new aeroflowperformance.com today.
Hey, fellas, do you hear that? That's passion and determination. It's time for us to listen to our fans. We'll never turn our backs on them because that is who we are. We are the West. We are open to everyone. We are loyal. We are listening. We are passionate. We are family. We are.
Grab your Burson Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship limited edition sublimated t-shirts from the merchandise outlets now.
I really enjoy my job. You get to work on big machines.
It's a great career choice.
Stop thinking and just go for it.
Back to racing here as we keep on with our qualifying session at the moment now for our super sedan races.
Alrighty, take two for this pair. We've got Sean Maher in the HP Tirana taking on Joe Zammit in the VL Commodore.
Luckily enough in this category, we're not too worried about engine temperature, though most of them still have the radiator in the front. Some sort of cooling system. Just be a bit more temp in those tyres. Joe Zammit ready to go in the VL Commodore there. You see him pre-stage, full stage now. Sean Maher alongside the HB. Just needs to edge in. Lights are about to go down.
Good pair of reaction times for both races. 0-1-2 on the tree for Sean Maher. 0-5-1 for Joe Zammit in the VL. Sean Maher will take the win. 9.22 with the 7. 1.43 mile an hour through the finish line. And Joe Zammit in the Rocket Lane. 10.17 with a 2. 1.30 mile an hour through the finish line.
Oh, is this Mr. Cowie here? And
Yes.
he's changed the look of his car as well. Normally we're used to seeing Deadpool on the back, and he's had a bit of a change of heart there and moved that one over there. The little mighty boy. It's mighty by name, mighty by nature.
I think from memory it's got like a 430 cube small block.
Yeah, just something, you know, just to keep you going. Nathan Cowie there, something crazy. And it goes remarkably straight alongside Naomi Lightower in the Pontiac Firebird, all thanks to BNS Waterproofing and Penrite Oils.
Lightower, an ex-junior dragster racer. He's been campaigning this car for a number of seasons now. Leaves him on with an 0.68 reaction time. Cowie in the mighty boy at 2.08. Looks like Lightower's out in front at the moment, Matt, and will take the win with a 9.29 at 1.46 mile an hour through the finish line.
Yeah, Nathan Cowie there with an early shut-off in that car. That's only gone over 78 miles an hour, 11.40. So that's off that very, very early and already moved over. I just want to see what the half-track mile an hour. I think there might have been a test run. New wrap on that, maybe a new setup in the car. Robert Cardham now in the Rocket Lane in the XE Falcon, the big green machine. Well, thanks to Speed Pro, RK Carpentry and Higgins Raceheads. From Victoria, taking on Jason Field in the Perfect Roofing Telstar, the Ford Telstar.
I was wondering if you were going to do that.
You got to roll the R's,
That's
mate.
exactly right, Matt. And two very tough competitors. I have seen Robert Cardham's Falcon drag that rear bumper. Not so on this time, but I tell you what, Jason Field, he's having a good look at the photographer. And
he almost got the wheels up on the wall, didn't he? That thing went hard to the left. So run out. Looks like Cardham's going to get across the line. 9:04 with a 151 miles an hour. And Jason Field just lifted that front end up, went to the left, almost got the front wheel down on the wall. Car's pulled up though. He's done the right thing. Pulled over to the left. They'll be checking that one out. The officials have the gate open at half down just past the finish line.
yeah, that car of Jason Field is normally bulletproof. It runs straight every time and doesn't lift the wheels or whatnot. But
I think
not
it's
so on
found,
next.
it's found a bit more mojo since last season. Maybe they put a bit more mojo on the front chassis rails.
Actually, I did notice a nitrous purge, which I haven't normally seen. I don't recall seeing the nitrous sticker on that car, so that might be where the extra mojo is coming from, Matt.
Oh, we love a little bit of liquid supercharger. It's always fun to put a bit of nitrous. Big shout out to everyone who's watching us on the YouTube channel. Great to see that you are joining us. Of course, we will be changing over to our Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship page when we come into our big categories. When we come into qualifying this afternoon about around about 6 o'clock, which of course we do have Pro Stock, Top Bike, Top Fuel, and of course Pro Mod. So we'll be sharing as much as we can out in the social media, but it's great to see everyone joining us on the official Sydney Dragway YouTube page at the moment.
All right, on track now in the one-tonner, or a pair of one-tonners actually. We've got Mark Busher in the black model. Don't know anything about this car. I haven't seen it here at Sydney Dragway before, but it's got certainly a nice set of tyres under the back of it, and he's taking on Lou Palumbo, who is a regular campaigner here at Sydney Dragway, running for Fairfield Mobile Auto Electrics.
I love this one because it's just a paint job is almost the only difference you can see here. Slightly different. You can't see the roll bars coming out the back, obviously, of Bush's car, but they've both got that yellow dime, which means we've got a little bit of nitrous on board for both, and both V8 powered, of course. I reckon we're going to go with small block here. Purging the nitrous now for Busher. Palumbo, he's trying to edge it in, but look at, they're very, very similar one-tonners. This is going to be a fantastic race. We'll have to see what the difference is. There we go, purge for Palumbo.
Just waiting on Busher. Both cars into pre-stage now.
Just last minute, got to bump it in. Here we go, revs are up. Oh, wheels are up from both though. Palumbo gets a nice launch away. He's a 140 towards the centre line though for Busher.
Good side-by-side race. I think Busher, he's given him a good challenge, a 9.18 with a 6, 145 mile an hour there for Palumbo, and a 8.78 with a 3 at 150 mile an hour on the nose there for Busher.
Yeah, Busher really tried to drive around. Didn't get off the line as quick as he needed to. Definitely a much faster car there. See by 0.3 of a second, but the 150 mile an hour. There's going to be some good racing from those two one-tonners a bit later.
Well, just in case you haven't had enough of one-tonner racing here, Matt, in Super Sedan, we've got another one for you. This one is Pat Friolo in the blue model.
It's a gorgeous one-tonner as well.
Very much so.
Does quite a few laps here at Sydney Dragway.
0.25 on the tree. Running straight down the centre of the aeroflow lane. And he's going to run on through for a 10.02 with a 6 at 131 mile an hour.
Looks like that might be our Super Sedan qualifying session number 1 run and done as we move on to Super Gas up next. So Super Gas are now coming over and starting to line up for their qualifying session number 1. We do only have, looks like we've only got 5 or 6 cars in this category here this weekend, and really the number we're looking for here, this is a dial-in bracket. Basically, it's basically a 9.90 second cutoff, and you're not allowed to run faster than 9.90 is the basic rules.
Very much so. First at the finish line wins. Slower than a 990. No deep staging. There are a couple of, I'll say, specialty rules for this category. A lot of these cars are capable of running well quicker than the 990 index, and that's why we hear the throttle stop. They'll leave the start line, almost go silent.
And here the RPM drops off. That's the throttle stop kicking in.
Yep, and then they'll accelerate again. So we'll see big mile an hour at a 990.
Some of the reason they do that for is they know they can try and catch them in the far end, or if maybe they're going to break out, they can back off. But you see there, the nose goes down again, throttle stop comes on, and then here we go. We're underway. Half track's where the race is starting.
And it looks like Colin Griffin will take the win there. 9.79 with a 3, 158 mile an hour through the finish line. And I think that was Polito there for 9.96 with a 5 at 152.
Vince Panetta now comes out in this blue Holden Tirana from New South Wales, all thanks to Straight Line Paint and Panel. Arias Financial and Anthony Secret Garden taking on Joe Catanzariti, yeah. I had to read it again. I just had to remember. You know, you get a few of those letters jumbled up, you can all go wrong.
Wasn't sure if I should leave you hanging there.
Oh, mate, you did well. The Pontiac Firebird. He's keen to go. Look, full stage, ready to go. Come on, Panetta, get it in there. Wheels are up for Panetta. They come down again. Throttle stops are on. Now we're underway. This race starts a bit earlier.
Yeah, Panetta with a 006 reaction time on a Pro Tree. Good light. Goes 10.03 with a 7 there to a 10.07 with a 1 for Catanzariti. Absolutely nothing in that one through the finish line.
And they'll have a bit of work to do if they want to get that time run down, obviously, to those 9.90s. Still a little bit to do, 1/10 of a second. Just trying to ease into things at the moment.
I tell you what, both those competitors are very, very well experienced here in Supergas. Next up, we've got Roy Romeo taking on John Summerarch. Summerarch in the Sporty Cordy. 302 wins are on board. This one a manually shifted car, so no throttle stops for him. He has to do it all by the seat of his pants.
It's a wild ride too, isn't it? He can really get out of shape on the launch. And
yep.
This is one of the cars probably that's not too much faster than a 990 car. He really has to drive it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Looks like we're getting a little bit of that precipitation again, Matthew.
Yeah, we don't like that when it falls from the sky, and it gets down the far end a little bit earlier than we see down the front. Luckily, it is very light here. Very, very light. We can see through the cloud that is over the top of us, so it won't be around for too long, but it may just delay us just a couple of minutes. Of course, we are here at the Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship. Great to see everyone who's joined us here on the live stream, of course, and everyone who's joined us here in the venue. There's some fantastic parking we've got down the. We saw earlier out the front there, we've got a huge amount of parking down here, so you don't have to park in the mud, whether you're coming today or coming tomorrow. Plenty of parking. Get down here and enjoy what is the first ever Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship to kick off 2022 here at Sydney Dragway. We're speaking about earlier some of the qualifying coming up early. We spoke about Pete Shiverus and Phil Lamartina. Now, Shane Oliver's taking on Larry Dixon. Now, this one's going to be very interesting. Shane Oliver's driven just about every type of car there is when it comes to drag racing. Now he's got his opportunity to go top fuel racing. Now, he's done licensing, but he hasn't actually raced side by side in this class yet.
It certainly will be a new experience. Of course, I think as a racer, he would be focusing on 100% on what he's doing more so than what his competitor. But of course, it will be interesting for Shane to see if that rattles him a little bit, having a competitor beside him. But as you say, he does have a wealth of experience in a lot of very quick cars, and of course, a lot of that experience is on board the Outlaw Nitro Funny cars, and of course they're certainly not an easy car to steer and pedal either.
No, he's jumping into the Raposada car now. He's familiar with the Raposada team. They've done stuff in the States. He was over here in Australia 2017 from memory, doing some winter nationals with them, so they're familiar. Obviously they've got that relationship, and a very competent car too as well. So Larry Dixon, he's got himself 3 NHRA Full Throttle World Championships up his belt, so many wins. He's got an impeccable record when it comes to top fuel. So with that and the tuners' experience, they're going to be a formidable force here this weekend as well.
Oh, very much so. I think the as I say, the data bank in both the Raposada team and the Lamantina teams would be quite extensive. The different racing conditions in which they've run under throughout Australia and throughout the years has certainly would accrue a wealth of knowledge for the tuners involved in those cars.
And what'll be interesting to see what the upgrades that the teams have done in the off-season, because there has been a number of months where a lot of these teams haven't raced. I mean, Shane Oliver's done his licensing passing, but I don't think Phil's done too much. Larry Dixon hasn't been with the Raposadas for a number of years here, and they haven't raced since, well, late 2020. So those guys haven't got a lot of laps on the board recent times, and I'm sure with technology changes, there will be something changed in those cars. We'll have to wait and see what they bring to the table. Phil Reid will be taking on Wayne Newby in the last pairing for qualifying session number 1. Now, Phil Reid did some great qualifying last weekend. They got some numbers on the board there as well, and he's been on that 380, just on the verge of cracking into the 370s, but they've got themselves a Black Mamba number 2. The chassis is brand new, so they've had some changes there. Phil's in that one slightly different seating position, but ready to go with the Hydrolink top fuel car.
It's fantastic to see, and obviously making chassis changes affects so many different things other than how the power is transferred to the rear wheels, how the chassis flexes, all that sort of stuff does have an impact on the car as it heads down the 1,000-footer racetrack.
Definitely does. And Wayne Newby, well, what do we say? He's got championships under his belt here with Raposada. He's got championships in alcohol as well.
Yep.
Mate, he works on the cars. He's behind the scenes. He's got new engineering. He's been Raposada for a number of years. Like riding a bike, I think they're going to come out here. Don't be surprised if they go and run a number here in qualifying session number 1 or qualifying session number 2. Maybe they'll run a half-track run, just get some data the first time round, but don't be surprised if by qualifying session number 2, Noobs and Raposada just put a time down.
Yeah, that's certainly comes back to experience, and of course this a local racetrack that Newbie would have done hundreds of passes in here at Sydney Dragway, in generally obviously in a dragster of some form, whether they're nitro methane fueled or alcohol fueled cars.
Mate, it's great to be back here at Sydney Dragway, of course, for the Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship. With a little bit of precipitation out there, we're going to grab a couple of words from our fantastic sponsors for this weekend's event.
Then, simply add to cart and proceed to checkout. Your Aeroflow Performance products are only a few secure clicks away. Try the new aeroflowperformance.com today.
Viruses spread when you cough and sneeze, and the tiny droplets land on surfaces others might touch. You can help reduce the risk by coughing or sneezing into your arm or a tissue. Bin the tissue. Wash your hands with soap and water. And if you're sick, seek medical advice. Together, we can help stop the spread and stay healthy. Visit australia.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
We come from Cairns. We drove here in a convoy with about 8 of us.
I just love it. Just having fun, yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's part of the journey is getting here. We absolutely love it. Yeah.
What can I say? We're rivet.
Red Sedan on Father's Day in Alice Springs 2022. Entries on sale now.
Your Burson Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship limited edition sublimated t-shirts from the merchandise outlets now.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons.
We've also got Shannons Home and Contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannons.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
We come from Cairns. We drove here in a convoy with about 8 of us.
I just love it. Just having fun, yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's part of the journey is getting here. We absolutely love it. Yeah.
What can I say? We're rivet.
Red Sedan on Father's Day in Alice Springs 2022. Entries on sale now.
Your Burson Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship limited edition sublimated t-shirts from the merchandise outlets now.
Atlantic Performance Oils are an Australian-owned and operated company specialising in the production of specialty and everyday lubricants for use in a wide variety of applications. Manufactured in our state-of-the-art facility at Ingleburn, we cater for everyday drivers and heavy transport, earth-moving and industrial applications including hydraulics, and agriculture and mining. We also manufacture a wide range of grease, coolant and gear oils to suit your needs. So visit atlanticoil.com to find a distributor near you for Atlantic quality products.
Hey, fellas, do you hear that? That's passion and determination. It's time for us to listen to our fans. We'll never turn our backs on them, because that is who we are. We are the West. We are open to everyone. We are loyal. We are listening. We are passionate. We are family. We are.
I really enjoy my job. You get to work on big machines.
It's a great career choice.
Stop thinking and just go for it.
At Burson, we know auto parts. For the last 50 years, we've been known for our first-class knowledge and service. And with over 195 stores across Australia, your experienced local Burson team are ready to help.
Coronavirus is most likely to spread from person to person when we come into close contact with one another. We can all help stop the spread by keeping our distance. This means do not shake hands or exchange physical greetings, and wherever possible, stay at least 1.5 metres away from others. It's also really important to practice good hygiene, especially after being in public places.
So if you just joined us on the Sydney YouTube channel, the Sydney Dragway official YouTube channel, we are just down with a little bit of precipitation, but it does look like the drops are slowing down, so we're not too far away from getting back underway. It looks like we've still got a race to go with our Super Gas. A couple of Super Gas cars still to run here in qualifying session number 1. Then we move on to the Timmy Hot Rod Suppliers Modified, followed by Top Sportsman, Super Comp, Extreme Bike, Supercharged Outlaws, and of course then we do have an exhibition Top Fuel Pass coming your way. That is just qualifying session number 1. Of course, don't forget, it is going to happen about 6 p.m. tonight. We're going to kick off our Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship. And, of course, we kick it off with the Pro Stock with their qualifying session number 1. It's great to see so many cars here from Victoria, New South Wales. And I reckon we've got a SA car here as well in Pro Stock. Top Bike as well. Now, we haven't really touched on this one, but great to see them coming around with the Top Fuel guys. And really, it's Chris Matheson is back, the Nitro Voodoo Racing Top Fuel bike, and he's been 600 with a 7 just recently. Willowbank there, it was only 6 or 7 months ago, and the fastest time we've seen a Top Fuel bike in Australia. But can he crack into the 5s? That's the question.
I think that's the monkey he definitely wants off his back. But certainly Matheson and his team have been trying so hard to get into that 5-second zone, along with a number of other competitors here in the top bike category.
And one of those competitors is John Zara, who's here this weekend as well. Now, he's gone sub-4 to the half-track mark, which is well and truly, I think it was a 380 something. So well and truly on his way to the first 5-second pass in Australia, but shredded a supercharger belt. Now, that wasn't that long ago either. So another contender, John Zara, who's only recently in the last few years actually licensed on a Top Fuel bike and got there. So obviously Adam Mackay up there a bit north of Brisbane, up in Queensland. Who will it be this weekend? It's really going to be a Matho versus Zara, I do believe, fight to see who's going to be in the 5s. we've got a couple of others in top bike. Danny Rickard's coming up from South Australia now, obviously been in competition bike and other bike categories before. A lot of experience when it comes to getting on the saddle, but see how he goes this weekend. Corey Buttigieg's back as well from the Fatsumoto team. He's back here this weekend. And they're very new, so they've only just licensed in top bike. It's fairly new to them. They were obviously racing pro stock bike before.
Yes, as was Lachlan Island as well. He was a pro bike rider for a number of seasons as well.
And someone a little bit different here, obviously, is going to be Rob Cassar, who's got the Kawasaki, which is a bit of a funny bike out of the States, the way they set them up, but nitrous power, so a little bit different. We're not going to see the supercharger on the side of that one. So another one in top bike there. Now, just knowing how fast these bikes go, anyone can win the races because they're very unpredictable, very hard to ride, especially that big tyre on. They tend to push to the side and get close to the walls. They've got to be careful exactly what they're doing, but when we're looking at breaking the 5-second barrier, really the two names that come to mind are John Zara and Chris Matheson. So we'll have to wait and see what those two bikes can do this weekend. And then we move on to a different bike category we're going to see very shortly, of course, extreme bike. Now, I love extreme bike. A lot of them are turbocharged and they go pretty crazy. Of course, Leonard as a party has got in this weekend as well and entered. And we know Leonard, well, he's a madman, really. He's gone 668 at 217 miles an hour on what is a really tiny tyre on the back of these things. Very different beast to when we see the top fuel bikes.
Yeah, certainly the tyre on Leonard's bike would be, what would you say, a fifth the size of a top fuel?
Yeah,
a top fuel tyre, if not.
And that's being generous,
if not less.
Yeah, no, so extreme bike, another category we're going to see here this weekend. And yeah, obviously a lot of turbocharged bikes in that category. No wheelie bars on that. I mean, that's what's strange. Extended swing arm, so we see the longer bike, but no wheelie bars. It's just crazy what they do. Can't wait to have them as part of the series as well. We have a look. Also, we've got the Pro Mod guys are back as well. So we've got a number of Pro Mod cars here this weekend. And what I'm liking about Pro Mod is that a couple of different ways they've started out in Australia is they've actually put a time on the Pro Mod. So normally they run like a 585 category, a bit like what you see in Supergas with the 990, yes. A 585. But knowing that we've got a couple of cars in that category, well, I shouldn't say a couple of cars, nearly all most of them can run a sub 585. So this weekend they're going to come out and they're going to do their racing on a 585 dial-in.
Yes.
And then what we're going to do is at the end of the night on Saturday night is we're going to unleash them. We're going to take the 585 away. We're going to drop the lights. We're going to let them wind the boost up. We're going to lock the converters up a lot earlier on in the race. And we're just going to see what they can run. And there's only a couple of options there. Will we see the first 540 in Australia? We've seen 550 there from Sakaridis, from the mauler himself, Greg Sakaridis. Or will we see them, or will they get out of shape, get wild out there on the track? That's the two options we sort of get with the Pro Mods when they wind them right up.
Yeah, I wonder if changing the car setup, I'll say midway through the event, what that does for the settings for, I'll use inverted commas, race mode, where they have to run to that run to that index. Do they make minimal changes in terms of boost, as you say, lock up clutches, things that are easy to revert back, or do they make wholesale changes and then be looking at swapping everything back for race day?
Look, I just want to see Rob Campese. They've got this car going now, and obviously with all the breaks we've had, with the life we've had in the last couple of years, probably hasn't done as many runs he'd like to, but that twin-turbo Mustang, obviously it's the big Hemi-headed, big block Ford. They've got some big turbos on it too. They're like 106mm turbos on that thing. They're absolutely huge. Now, that thing's making a whole heap of power. Obviously, a fair bit of work with SCF race cars here in New South Wales, of course, Craig Burns. They run a 554, so it's second fastest door car in the country behind Greg Sakaridis, but definitely matching for power, definitely matching for car. When we take the leash off these two, where will it end? Like, how fast can they go this weekend if conditions are right? All right, looks like we're not too far away. Supergas now fired up and warming the tyres up once again.
Alrighty, we've got Roy Romeo in the Holden Commodore taking on John Summeranch in the Ford Cortina. Summeranch running for Summeranch Race Cars out of Cardor, which is down Picton Way. Romeo from Catherine Field running for Burson Auto Parts at Narellan. see what both these racers can do on the Christmas tree. Of course, they're wanting to run as close to as possible a 990. Both races leaving the start line. Summer Ranch with an 021 red light. Romeo with a 025 green. Looks like Summer Ranch has given up the ghost. Something going away in that car, but a 986 with a 152 mile an hour there for Roy Romeo.
Yeah, well, it really easy to tell with Summer Ranch, wasn't it, there as the car. We know he has to use all the power of the little Windsor 302 Cuba, and he has to run it out the back door with the manual, of course, on board, unlike some of the other cars with a throttle stop. So something he'll be looking to see if he can find the issue there. Hopefully he can turn that one around very, very quickly. As it looks like we are going to move our categories now as we step out of Super Gas. And I believe Stephen Bush is going to have himself a little bit of a break. And we move on with the Timmy Hot Rod Supplies Modifieds. I believe Stu McCarthy's going to come on here and, well, talk about some cars with me, but he's getting himself lined up here. It's all go here at Sydney Dragway this weekend as part of the Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Series or Championship. And it's good to see so many people have already joined us despite the overcast conditions there. I don't believe we're going to be halted too much by the precipitation. It's just going to be a little bit of those testing conditions where we're right on the edge. Of course, it is qualifying day here on the Friday. And Stu, you've had a chance to get around and talk to a few of the drivers and soak in a bit of the atmosphere. What's it like being here at the first ever Burson's Auto Parts Australian Top Fuel Championship?
Just to be good back at a racetrack, mate. Pure and simple. That's the way I look at it. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of racetrack it is. We're at a racetrack and we're getting to see cars, bikes, do their thing, and then everything else that's planned for the weekend. Why wouldn't you want to be here?
That's exactly right. Craig Baker now in the dragster taking on Jason Vanderlind. Of course, you can see we are going, actually I think we're back to front here. We've got the dragster over there. Craig Baker obviously in our rocket lane, and it looks like Jason Vanderlind will be in our aeroflow lane there in the Bantam Altered. So it's going to get messy to read back to front, isn't it, from the screen. 0.25 there for lane number 1, Craig Baker. He goes 8.56 at 155 and a 7.64 at 177 for Jason.
Interesting, Matty, for sure. Hey, Matty, you're the drag racing person out of the two who are sitting up here in the comm box. The slight, obviously, hold up we've had due to weather at this stage, that we've seen the tractor go out there and lay a little bit more rubber down and all that kind of stuff. Do the guys have to really change their cars because the track has changed since they were out here before?
Look, the only probably thing I'm going to say here with the change might be that with the rain might be, we didn't get heavy rain, might be a slight different temperature variance. It could cool it down just a slight bit, but judging by what we got, there was just enough there for us to pull up the racing on safety.
Yep.
But not enough to really affect me. If we got a downpour or something, I'd be more concerned. Maybe the VHT, it might wash a little bit of that, and obviously they'll drag that back in by bringing the temperatures up and by dragging that along as we get a bit of a stop out there on track at the moment. We've got some walkers down the far end. We're looking under Alan White's car now.
The other thing I did notice before that little bit of rain did fall, these guys were all out in the staging lanes. When that rain come, they actually all, majority of them, went back to their pit bays. So that sort of led to that question, like, do they go back and adjust things with their car, engine, all that style of things, I guess, just to double check? Or are they putting, like, tyre warmers on or stuff?
Look, I don't think they get to that point in this category. Obviously, with the modified guys, they may do. Problem you got with a lot of the modified cars is with the altereds and the dragster style is you've got an open cockpit. So basically, you're open to the elements. Anything can happen. And why not? The last thing you want to be doing is sitting in a wet seat.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Especially a fire seat. Once they get wet, that's not going to be comfortable at all. It looks like just a few drops I can see in a lonely little puddle we've got down here, which is sort of our marker to see how much is coming down. But it's already stopped. We're just getting these light little...
They're just annoying enough.
It's like that spray you get when you're down the beach and the wind brings it in.
It's called a sea mist.
A sea mist.
Sea mist.
That's what we're getting.
Even though the sea's sort of 60 kilometres away from us. But you know the best thing about what I'm looking out this window right now? I can see blue sky.
I know.
Right? So...
It's not thick, dark cloud, which is what I like here. Of course, if you are watching us on our YouTube channel through the Sydney Dragway official YouTube site, welcome. We hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. If you just joined us, enjoy the Friday afternoon. Make sure you can still get down here and get tickets and walk in. We've got that fantastic new car park. And, of course, tomorrow is going to be even bigger action. Of course, we've got the FMX stunt riders, the drift cars, the burnout cars and fireworks to finish off the night. So it's going to be a fantastic show this weekend.
Well, one thing, have you ever commentated fireworks?
No, but there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, correct. Wow. Never done fireworks.
Well, we can do it.
Yeah.
I've been to plenty of shows with fireworks.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. Look, kids, there's a blue one. No, I shouldn't say it like that. It is good fun. It's always good when you see fireworks, especially going up in the sky track. So, next 2 cars.
Yep, Alan White's going to be obviously in our Aeroflow lane, taking on Daniel Flack in the Bantam Altered in the Rocket lane, closest to the main spectator hill, the right-hand side lane, number 2. Oh, the wheels are up for Flack. He goes to the right. White with a nice clean run. He's just done some testing in that car after being away for a couple of seasons. And Daniel Flack with an 840 with a 6,157.
So what happens there when they both red light? Does Flack get the win, even though they've both red light, or what happens there?
It's qualifying, so
Qualifying.
It doesn't matter.
There you go.
This is just fine-tuning like the, I like to call it the coffee to sugar ratio. You just need to find out. You just need to find out. Maybe sitting on the line, maybe the sugar's had a bit more time for intake, a bit of caffeine there, and they've got a bit eager.
No good talking to me about sugar, being a type 1 diabetic, mate. So let's not worry about that.
Look, a lot of these cars have delay boxes in too, and the easiest way I can explain it, not coming from a drag racing family, but getting into drag racing later in life, is that basically the moment they see the light go, they've got their delay set. They let go of the button, and it's actually automated before it will release the trans brake. So they might be adjusting some things like that depending on how they're feeling on the day and how well they can see the lights.
Fiona Crisp out there in the Rocket lane.
Yep, and done plenty of runs down here at the drag strip. And
she's originally from from Sydney, I believe. Her dad, Jeff Crisp. I reckon Jeff would be here somewhere, no doubt. Matt busy going through his paperwork here to try and find something. I don't know what he's looking for. Red light out of the Aeroflow lane. Jess throws down a 785 at 169.
Let's try to see if we get a 13 on the number there actually on our entry list there.
1388.
No, it didn't come up on our entry list either. We do have a... I'll just have to wait and see. We'll get that one sorted out for you, ladies and gentlemen, before we turn around. Jess Turner now is coming out in our lane number 1. Of course, the Aeroflow lane, all thanks to ETS Race Fuels, the Spitzer Dragster. Also thanks to Kavanagh Auto Parts, Dominator Converters, Denso Auto Parts and Higgins Race Heads. Done plenty of laps down here. Of course, nitrous fed small block, 407 cubes. They've tamed down the wheelies on this one. Normally we see the front wheels up in the air, and it's been a bit of a ride there, but they've definitely tamed that one down. CJ Davies alongside, ready to go. So CJ Davies just rolling into the staging beams now. Who's going to go first? We'll have to wait and see. Just Turner, very experienced. The wheelie bar wound down a little bit here. I reckon they'll try and keep those front wheels on the ground. Nice launch of both. Oh, Turner goes 009 on the wrong side of the tree, so that's a red light. There won't matter qualifying session, but definitely just looking for the elapsed time. 7:47 at 1:78. So that's a little bit off actually normally what she runs. We normally see her high 6, low 7. So just a little bit off there. And of course we saw CJ Davies that time going 8:27 at 160 miles an hour down the far end. Keeping in line, with, next up we've got our Timmy Cottrod Supplies Modified still lining up and having a look at our weather puddle.
Yep.
And it's being fed.
Correct.
With that mist.
It is, the sea mist.
The sea mist.
That's what we're going to roll with.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we don't. And look, obviously, we've all got technology in our hands with the old dog and bone. We can all see, get on radars and have a little bit of a look at, might be a little bit hit and miss this early part of the afternoon, but hopefully we stay clean and dry and we get things happening on the racetrack and have a cracker day one.
Well, there's just not enough behind it. When you look out there, and I know you're not all here, some of you are actually watching us on the live stream, but when you look behind it, you can see daylight behind the clouds, means they're not very thick. They're sort of scarce. There's just enough there to give us a bit of cloud cover, which means we're just getting these light little, we get a couple of runs in, light little mist. Maybe last time we had just enough to drag the tractor, which stopped us there for about 5 or 10 minutes. But I think we're going to push on through because it's about 6 o'clock tonight where we start to get our bigger categories underway for their qualifying session. Around about 6 o'clock, obviously Pro Stock are going to be out, and weather conditions probably not favourable for them with a bit of humidity around with the cloud cover and stuff. Of course, naturally aspirated 400 cube engines. They are looking for the smallest bits of horsepower for the difference in their times. Of course, with some of them might not have raced for the last 6 months. They'll be looking for some changes there to see what they can do. They'll be looking at track conditions. So Probably not favourable for them in the first run. We'll have to wait and see. I reckon the track will probably be there for them for pro stock. Then we move on to top bike. And we were discussing this earlier. Of course, there's a couple of guys out there that really fighting it out to see if they can run in that 5-second zones. Now, they are very big horsepower, unpredictable bikes. Huge tyre on the back. You know, the bike lets you ride it. You don't ride the bike.
Yeah, you signed a disclaimer from the bike.
So don't worry about horsepower. They're supercharged, most of them. Of course, we've got the one nitrous assisted bike there, but most of them are supercharged or got some big power at us. So they'll have plenty of power when it comes to it. Top fuel, well, mate.
Speaks itself.
They can't even tell you how much horsepower is in these things. They're going backwards off data. There is not a dyno in the world that will tell you how much horsepower, you know, but they are saying somewhere 11 to 12,000 horse. Last is going to be turbocharged with a couple of blowers thrown in there. Big power adders. Mate, they got all the electronics in the world. They have got everything on board. That is technology when it comes to pro mod. So, look, I think no matter what the conditions are, we're going to see some passes here tonight, and I reckon they're going to be reasonably good when it comes to the times and mile per hour that we see, especially Sydney Dragway being the full quarter mile concrete now. So that actually makes a bit of a difference to the racing surface as well. But as you can see, it looks like our little sea mist looks to be a little bit heavier.
Yeah, well, this is the heaviest it's been today, and the reason I say that is I'm not sure if our camera can pan left, but our Christmas tree has been covered up, and that certainly says it all to me, that when that's been covered, that's the first time it's been covered up today, and there it is on screen for those people sitting at home in the comfort of their lounge chair, and then the wonderful punters that we have here sitting up in the grandstand. Please be mindful of each other while you're sitting up there, and obviously social distancing. But it's just, yeah, super cool to be back at a racetrack, whether it's drag strip, street racing. When I say street racing, I mean circuit racing. I'm not endorsing you go and street race your car. There's live pictures, obviously, just looking. Just trying to pick which way that's looking.
That's down our turnaround area, down the deep end. So it's good to see we've got all the cameras down there. They've been busy. That was one of the upgrades that was done in the last couple of years here. Of course, we've got all these fantastic camera facilities here around the venue and upgraded PA, so you've got to listen to us. So just see them getting out of their cars. They'll be trying to cover those up. Obviously, they won't want to get in the intakes of the cars. The drivers will want to get out and make sure they don't get their suits too wet. Of course, it is going to bring us to a little bit of a delay here in racing this afternoon. Hopefully, it's gone in just a few minutes and we'll do a bit of a clear. Because I'm already seeing from our rain meter gauge that not too many sprinkles left like there was a couple of moments ago when we were talking.
You're talking about some of these divisions that have got all the technology and the likes for their cars to be able to go down. When it comes to the rain gauge, ours is just a puddle. So we have the technology working here at Sydney Dragway.
So it's the Burson's Top Fuel Championship, and it's good to see all of the big players out here this weekend to kick off the championship round number one.
Just on that, Matty, how cool is it to see a company like Burson's getting behind and supporting this brand new series? Because that's what it is. It's a brand new series that there's players in the industry that have got together. The Top Fuel teams have got together, and they're making this work because they see there's an opportunity. Let's build this great sport of drag racing back up where it was quite a long time ago.
Yeah, look, I think it's fantastic. It's a well-known name in the automotive community, I suppose. Whether you've got a workshop or whether you're just the home enthusiast, Bursons are always available there. You can go and pick up your parts. I mean, it's just another offshoot of one of the automotive parts areas where you can get your oils, your filters, tooling, all those sorts of things. A great association with them. They've spread themselves nationally, and they're probably young in terms of being commonly known.
Yep.
I mean, the earliest I can remember them was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. So it's.
I thought you were going to say when you were 6 or 7.
No. That was many moons ago. So they've really expanded. They're all obviously well-known national company now, and it's great to see them getting behind the Top Fuel series, and it's going to take their brand around Australia as well. It's not going to be limited to just Sydney Dragway. They're going to be going to a number of venues here, which means, it's good for their company. It's good for the series here. It assists us, and I'm sure you'll find that Burson's obviously associated with some of the parts and stuff that a lot of our drag racers use, which is good to see them putting back into the racing, which obviously is their customer base.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I find, obviously, as you know, with my background with announcing speedway, dirt track racing, I found with motorsport fans, once they see a company support a series or support a team, when they need to use someone, they go and use that company that's involved with your chosen motorsport or whatever like that. So what I'm saying to the people sitting at home or the people sitting here at the venue, if you need something that's automotive, go to Burson's and walk into that store and tell them, hey, the reason I'm in here is because you're supporting drag racing. And that lets that, and they're individually owned, I believe, those stores. They're not, I'm not sure if they're all corporate owned or whatever. That's something we'll find out. But if it is a corporate store, they're going to give that feedback to the guys that have done the sponsorship deal, and that's what they want to hear. So I do say that to people, as I said, sitting at home or sitting here, if you do need to go into a Burson store for any reason, let them know that the reason you've come in here was because you've supported drag racing here in Australia.
And I'll tell you what, they've got behind Shane Olive, who is driven everything up until now except a Top Fuel, and now he's done his licensing and he's about to experience his first race in Top Fuel. That looks unbelievable, that car with the Burson's Auto Parts logos all over it. That is a really good-looking Top Fuel car.
Yeah, but all the Top Fuel cars that are down there in the pits at the moment, they all look magnificent. And it goes to all the cars and bikes that are down there in the pits. Everybody, it's their pride and joy. So they're putting everything to win it. And then there's other teams that, and I say this respectfully, other teams that they're not worried about that side of things. They just want their car to be fast and go down and do what it does. But then there's the ones that are proud of their sponsors and do the right thing and want things like that to really stand out. And then and another thing, like the Premium Air team, they've got a live on their Facebook page. They've got a pit cam live on their Facebook page going right now. So like there's ways of being able to promote your sponsors or your team or whatever you need to do to set yourself different to everybody else.
Yeah, and we see our Top Fuel teams down there getting prepared, and it's if you're here at the venue, it's a fantastic opportunity for you to go down because they have to do a warm-up. So they'll go through a lot of things when they check the cars, and if you've never been to a Top Fuel event, there's a couple of things I do with the fuel system is they've got two magnetos, which is the ignition system on those things. So basically like two distributors if you're old school, I suppose. And when they turn around is they'll actually test one at a time. So you'll see them start them up, they'll change them over, they'll make sure the shutoffs work, they'll be checking their fuel pumps, they just go through the motions. And mate, just to go down and experience that in a very close proximity, that's what I really love about drag racing is being able to go down the pitch during racing, experience these things, because when they get them out in the start line, they open up the extra pump, they got the twin Maggies running. If you ever get the opportunity to do a start line experience, I tell you what,
it's unbelievable.
It is something you cannot explain to anybody else. It is a once in a lifetime experience. For some of us, we're lucky to do it a few times. But if you can get down the pits, that's just a taste of what you're going to get. And just imagine that is going to be amplified when they come out into racing later on tonight.
Oh, 100%. Like back in 2005, I was lucky, or 2006, I should say, I was lucky enough to head stateside and went and seen a round of the NHRA. And on the final day, so I was there for the 4 days or whatever it was that they were racing. I sat there for the 3 days and watched all the racing first. Come final day, I didn't watch a car go down the strip. I just stayed in the pits because they're turning them over so quick, like your funny cars and your fuel cars and the bikes and all that. Because they're doing it so much quicker because they've got to get back out on the racetrack, it was just super cool just to watch that. And I didn't even see, as I said, didn't see a car go down the track on the final day. Just watched them in the pits.
Mate, it's
that's
amazing.
The thing that you can do here.
The teams they got behind them, when you talk, it's, an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes to turn around a Top Fuel car. And that's like pistons out, sump off, heads off. It's basically doing a quick rebuild on the engine in between. And that's if they've done no damage either. So if they've melted slugs in there or pistons, whatever you want to call them, if they've melted something like that, they've got an issue. Anything could have happened during the run because it's very, very, I suppose, the amount of horsepower and torque they're putting through these things and nitro fuel just being what it is, very, very volatile. Anything can happen. And they're running on the ragged edge of those engines. So if everything goes smoothly, it's great. You turn them around pretty quick. But if something just goes a bit wrong, maybe you have a bit of a blockage in the fuel system and ignition doesn't quite work. Remembering that these things, the amount of fuel they burn going down the track is phenomenal. And by the end of it, the spark plugs are gone. So by half track, they're dieseling, which is, phenomenal with the pressures in the cylinders.
Yeah, it is. They're an amazing machine, and hats off to everybody that works on these Top Fuel cars or any car out there in the pits or bike. It's truly is amazing what they do and what they accomplish to be able to get those cars or vehicles down this strip here at Sydney Dragway. It's looks like it might have.
I think we've got a little bit now. We talked about conditions before. Now we can see that we've got our sweepers out there trying to get that water up. Now conditions might have changed a little, so they are going to have to drag this track now, just try and bring that VHT back up to the surface. Once it's in the rubber, really a bit of heat and stuff will actually bring it up to the surface. So I think we've got a little bit of work to do here at Sydney Dragway. It won't take too long, of course. We can see them drying. It doesn't look like we're getting any additional moisture put on the track. Can't be too far away. We might grab a couple of words from our sponsors, and we'll be back with you very shortly.
Street Elite Showcase is a section of the show that's developed over probably the last 6 or 7 years, and where that came from is that all these people were building these what we call the elite or superstars cars, and they were getting up around $700-800, even up to $1 million on these cars. They'd show them for a year or two, then they couldn't sell them, they stick them in their shed, you never see these cars. So we come up with this concept called Street Elite, and what those cars are is that they have to be, to enter this show, they have to be street registered, so they have to actually show their papers and be legal. But it's something, again, that's really grown because people have seen that they can get a car that's good enough to show, but then they can use it. So a lot of them even drive into this event. And yeah, that's, again, become a really good feature. And it's something that's good. It's built the industry, and so it's just grown in that area.
It's great because it means a lot of these full-on show cars, you can't drive them because they're all painted underneath and everything's polished and chrome, and so quite often they don't see the street, whereas these cars are just nice and clean underneath. But yeah, if it gets a little bit of rain, it's not the end of the world, or maybe a stone chip here or there. You know, it just goes to show that you can drive these nice cars, because to the average punter, these Street Elite cars might as well be a show car.
They can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up. I bet when I land, they gon' tell me it's luck again. See that I'm winning, it's harder to watch. I'm setting the stage, you should give me my props. You ain't got no soul, you lacking the spirit. You talk about your nigga, I'ma show you I'm with it. I would really hate for you to sit and watch me win again and win again and win again. I know it's probably getting on me and when I'm sending them, so if I ever win again, it's nobody in the minimum, I didn't have to some soul.
Street Machine Summer Nats 34. It is Saturday. It's a vibe here, mate. Let's go and check it out now.
Oh man, check 1 2 1 2.
G'day, mate. How you going? Hey, Summer Nats, baby! You going, mate? Nervous?
Oh, real nervous, mate.
It's a high intensity competition, right?
Oh, mate, I even used soap this morning in the shower and everything just to look pretty.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not going to smell you, but yeah, I'll take your word for it. There we go. What's going on, Vegemite? What's happening?
Oh, just, you know, living the dream.
Yeah, been growing that about 20 years?
Nah, only 2.
2, eh?
2
Fresh, yeah. Good luck. You too, mate. Winnie Blues Band, the VB man. Theme going on here. Breakfast, dinner and lunch. What's going on, mate? Nice haircut.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What about yours? That's going great.
Thank you.
Grow it especially for the comp. You're so excited, you're dancing. There you go. How you going there, mate?
Yeah, right. Yourself?
Enjoying some sun?
Yeah, trying my best.
That's it. She's a grower.
Yeah, been about 3 years, so.
Yeah.
Finally got there. Decided to get a couple of Dutch carriages in me.
Yeah, get up there, mate. You got the footy shorts on and got the tats out.
I can't go any other way.
What's going on?
How are you, mate? What's up?
Good, mate. What's happening?
We're doing some mower racing. This thing's skits. Have you seen these things or not? We've got a 202 stroke. This is a 250 4-banger.
I saw Cletus take out Shannon last year. It might have been the other way around, but we'll take the Australian preference. We think, you know.
Yeah, Nolsey.
Keep our Nolsey. He's the world champ current. You look pumped out.
Were they timed laps, or can we just pretend that we
Seco F1 spec sort of timing, yeah.
Nolsey's a mad dog. He's a mad dog on the dirt bike, isn't he?
Yeah, on the gas.
Al on the motivator here. I've got the lady boy. and then Benny's over here on the...
For obvious reasons.
On the hydro ground support systems.
Al, who do you want to take out, mate?
I reckon Benny's too big, so maybe the lady boy.
The after's not good, right?
I'm coming for Nolsey. I'm coming
Benny?
for you, Nolsey.
Who are you taking out first?
Probably myself.
Hey?
Give us a rev. I think you just burnt the cameraman's leg, but you'll be right. Putting one wheel in the air, these guys are nuts. See that? Benny sneaking in for second place. Oh, mate.
You don't have any idea how much hard work that is. Holy
That is scared.
You never get this.
Oh, you got me, you
Man, that's amazing.
Sneaking in for second there, Benny.
Oh, yes. I did tell you I was going to get you last night, mate.
You did.
We're here on the Canna main arena for the Shannons Show and Shine. As you can see in the background, there is a multitude of cars of all various makes and models. The quality is high. Let's have a little look around. See the Shannons Show and Shine with Kurt. He's got McMeth, the Corolla. Tell us all about the combo, mate.
It's a little cast iron line, we like to call it, with a 304. Stroked out to a 355, just with a 671 blower on methanol. Yeah, little turbo 400, it's good.
Tidy combo, do a few skids, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, she barks the tyres pretty well. Yeah,
I have no doubt, mate. My first car was a Gemini. I tell you what I wanted when I had one. It's a bloody big turbo like that. And mind having a chat, 2 seconds for our Summernats video. You'll be famous again.
Having fun.
There you go. How about yourself, mate? Enjoying being at Summernats?
Yeah, we're loving it. We come from Sydney for the day, or for the week. They wouldn't let us do the grass drive, and they reckon this old girl was going to be an unfair advantage in the four-wheel drive.
There you go. What about Skid Row, mate?
We went down it, but we didn't get much smoke out of it.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, we had more.
And who cares? That's the main thing, right? That's it.
Stretch it all the way around.
Here we go, Jacko. Thanks, brother.
No worries, mate.
Too big for this, isn't it? Right, Heath from the Rod Shop. How you going, mate?
Going well. It's definitely a busy day today, that's for sure.
Very busy. Nice to see Warbird in the background here and the Ferrari Tirana, mate.
It is. I don't think, I know we really always get more attention on Warbird, so I'm not sure. Everyone's pretty stoked with the Ferrari engine.
Give us a little rundown on the Tirana and the idea behind doing that.
Well, obviously the Rod Shop's a conversion place, and trying to find something that's different is pretty hard as you walk.
Certainly done that.
I was going to say, so I wanted to get out of the Burnout scene. The car was never built for Burnout car. I wanted to do something different.
Castlemaine Rod Shop guys have got a great spot down here, right on Tough Street, next to Skid Row. The vibe's going crazy, the weather's awesome. Let's go have a look at some skids while we're so close. Man. How packed is this? There's people everywhere. Sun's shining. The birthday man over here. How you feel, birthday man? What's that? How you feel, birthday man? Summernats Burnout Masters qualifying starts in about 10 or 15 minutes. 3 o'clock Saturday. There we go, this bloke. What's going on, blokes?
Last minute checkups.
Last minute bit of doctor work on the motor?
Yeah, make sure everyone's happy.
That's it.
How have you been, big fella?
Big Red looks pretty ready, mate.
Yeah, hopefully it plays a game.
I should be holding the mic to you. Do you think I've done this once or twice?
I don't reckon too many people want to hear my voice today.
You're sounding fresher than ever. What's the secret to it?
Very good preparation the last few days.
What's going on, McFry?
My voice is gone.
You good, Nelson?
I'm good.
Your voice is gone, but your right foot's not gone.
No, it's still there.
Ready to send it, right?
Oh, ready to send it.
What's the game plan, mate?
Just medium send.
Medium send? What's the game plan is medium send. There we go.
No. Medium send, no walls.
Sweet.
That'd be good.
Saw you earlier this year at Red Sandonats, mate. Yeah. Doing the Macca's run, and now you're here, Burnout Masters qualifying, Summonats 10 minutes away. Are you nervous?
A little bit nervous. Definitely excited though. Yeah, it's just awesome to be able to rub shoulders with the big boys in the sport.
I'm here with the Killies. Brought hammer time down. Burnout Masters qualifying, Summonats 34. Tell us.
Unreal, that's all I can say.
I'm excited. The car's going back to back again, and I love it.
There's plenty of contenders this year. Everybody's going to leave it on the Burnout pad, no doubt. I got no clue who's going to win. What's going on here, Blaze?
Just the usual, getting ready for Burnout Masters.
Going for a skid?
Yeah, definitely keen.
Going passenger, Craig?
Yeah, it'd be good to be passenger. I've
Yeah.
heard it's a wild ride, so.
Never been a place in Sydney here on the fence for the Super Cruise. Mad view. That's what I need. A mad slushy, about 15. We're going out to Braddon to check out Fringe Festival, see what's going on. The vibe, mate. All the street machines here in Braddon, vibes in the streets. I like it. Damien, what's going on, mate?
Just down here at Lonsdale Street at Braddon's, going off. Unbelievable.
How good of a vibe is this?
Oh,
Trees lit up,
sensational.
cars on the side of the road.
Blown cars driving past.
You're blown away.
Eating dinner, unreal.
I know you, mate. I know when you're impressed, then you're impressed.
Yeah, it's impressed.
How many cool cars parked on the side of the road, from old trucks like this, done up to be patina style, to GT Falcons and all sorts of stuff. People eating at restaurants. I got no words. This is a thing, like, this has to be a part of Summonats forever.
If you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night.
I'm Peter Fitzpatrick from Canberra. I've been to every single Motor X, and this year I was only coming down for a look, but Simon Telford from Street Machine asked me would I bring the FC down because they're having the Hall of Fame for Street Machinists of the Year, and it was pretty hard to resist, so we're actually showing again. It's a team reality. My wife got it given to her from her dad when she was 16, before I met her actually, and it'll never be sold, and yeah, it's just part of our life. It's actually the best static car show in the country, and you've got all the best cars, all the best builders. You get the unveilings, which you get the size in the industry in Australia at the moment. It's just really good to see the new guys coming through.
come down to racing 8-second heavy hitters. The 70 model Escort, it's got a supercharged 14 Fontana Ford motor in it, and yeah, I've been racing it for about 27, 28 years. 7.9, 177 mile an hour. Came last year and I loved it, and I'll just keep coming now for a while, I reckon. So yeah, it's a great event. So good for the town and good for the sport. So, yeah.
Yeah, my name's Andrew Sutton, Alice Springs. Driving a 68 Camaro with a blown big box 7 it. We've had so far, we've been 8-1 at 165 mile an hour. We're going to try and sneak up and run a 790 to the game. Look, make sure you put it on your bucket list, at least do it once. And once you've done it once, you'll get hooked on it and you'll keep coming back, like everybody else does.
G'day, Rick Shelton, drove an L-Gauge runner, 582 big block chef. Full of 9 seconds so far, we've only had one run, and hopefully we can improve on that as the day goes on. It's our second time here, we're locals here, so it's a great time. Excellent. Yeah, should be good, yep. Fireworks will be great, they're always good to see. And prize money, that'll be a bonus too, more beer.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no else, gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Seal my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't hit, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads whizzing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need